Yo, shalom, everybody. This week is a good one, and I really want everyone to pay attention to this week in the Torah. Right, it's dealing with Joseph being hated by his brothers and sold into Egypt. To get started with it, Joseph's brothers in them were working in the fields. Joseph's brothers in them was doing wrong. It says that Joseph brought an evil report of them to their father, and because of that, they didn't like him. And on top of that, his father gave him a coat of many colors, so they didn't like Joseph. But one of the reasons why they didn't like him was because he brought an evil report. He brought an evil report against them. He will go and return to the father and tell them the things that they was doing wrong out in the field. And as a result, they did not like Joseph. Okay? And this portion that I'm talking about, this parashah, is dealing with people who are selfish. And this is what this Torah portion this week is about. Selfish. So it says they got mad with Joseph because Joseph would bring an evil report on. And when you read the scriptures, it says this: do I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You see, selfish people, what they don't do, they don't get mad at you for telling them about themselves, but they'll never get mad at themselves for the actions that they have done. And this is a problem with people who are selfish. They tend to look at you more than they tend to look at themselves. You see, because when you're dealing with a person that's selfish, that got that selfish superiority mindset, one of the greatest problems they have is you cannot correct it. Why do you think the book says open rebuke is better than secret love? Why do you think the book says they hate the one who rebukes and negates? So it goes to show that telling people about themselves does bring problems. Why do you think if you read in the Torah or in the prophets, it says the people told the prophets, don't give us the word of the Most High, prophesy unto us smooth things. Because people in this world want you to tell them things that's going to stroke their ego or make them feel good. And the second you tell them something that does not coincide with what they want to hear or what they want to do, they begin to villainize you. You become the villain now. Because people like that, they would rather change their friends instead of changing their ways. They'll find somebody who will put up with their evil ways instead of changing their evil ways. And this is what people do. They'd rather change their friends instead of changing their ways. They'll be done with you. And this is what happened when Joseph brought an evil report against his brothers. Instead of them looking at themselves and the wrong that they was doing, they tend to take it out on Joseph. And this is how people are in this world. If you tell them about themselves, they'll then look to counter to tell you something about yourself instead of just accepting or just accepting and just correcting their ways. See, this is a selfish mindset. Later on in this portion of the Torah, Joseph had a dream. And in his dream, his brothers was older than him. But in this dream, Joseph's brothers and them bowed down to him. And to them, they got mad and like, what do you mean? We're older than you. We're your rulers. We're your superiors. What we look like bowing down to you. But this is what happens when you're selfish. You tend to focus on you and just you. And anything that is said outside of glorifying you, you get mad. If it ain't credit, then it's criticism. And this is the ego aspect. You see, and the problem with most people who are selfish, they develop a thing called self-limited knowledge. They can't think beyond what they know. But you gotta unlearn what you learn. And it's not easy. You see, we built up these personas of ourselves. See, they looked at Joseph and said, wait a minute, you're my younger brother. We're not going to submit to you. But this is the problem with the selfish mind. It's the perception. The word imagination comes from the word image. Your imagination is only built off the image that you made up in your mind. Because there's three ways people see you. The way you view yourself, there's three ways you're being viewed in life. The way you view yourself, the way someone else views you, and who you really are. And I tell this to people. Most people, I tell this, when you think of yourself and how you view yourself, most people don't view you that way. I had a female in my neighborhood tell me what people say about me. I asked her, are you sure you really want me to tell you? When I told her, she couldn't believe it. I said, this is what most people do think of it. And this is the problem with selfish people, or that superiority mindset. They tend to think that the way they think is the only way people think of it, and that's not true. So these Israelite brothers could not accept the fact in their high mind that Joseph was actually superior than them. They couldn't accept it. See, this is persona. Persona is what we would like to be and how we wish to be seen by the world. That creates something called self-serving bias. That's when you excuse your failures and see yourself as more successful, more intelligent, more skilled than you really are. See, and this is where you begin to develop denial. What is denial? It's an acronym. It stands for don't even notice I am lying. The worst lies are the lies that we tell ourselves. This is why they tell you got to be careful with self-esteem, because self-esteem is self-delusion. It's when this is what people do so they will avoid stagnation in their mind. Because if they really and truly examine themselves and all the failures that they have done in life, they will be led by fear and doubt. So they develop something called illusory superiority effect. If they win, they're the reason. If they lose, someone's to blame. If they're right, everyone knows about it. If they're wrong, they try to forget about it, lie about it, and make it minimized. That's that superiority effect. Someone got to be to blame for when I do something wrong. See, this is the mindset you got to watch when you're dealing with friends and people in this world. Because they superior people got that superior mind frame, they tend to only want to be around people who they feel is inferior. Because they don't want nobody to challenge them. They like control. So the friends they have are people who just get in line, don't have a backbone, people who don't speak. And this is the problem as you read in this Torah portion, because of the perception of who these brothers thought they was. They looked at Joseph like, we're not submitting to you. And this is the problem. And I tell this to people all the time. If you read your Bible or your Torah, all through the book, the Most High always chose the younger. Whether it was Abraham, he was younger. Isaac was the youngest. Jacob was the youngest. Even Jacob's children, he chose Joseph. Later on, Judah, they were younger. Even Judah kids, even when you look at Judah kids, the younger of his kids was chosen. Even Joseph's children, it was Ephraim and Manasseh. Ephraim was chosen. The Most High always chosen those who was younger. But this is the problem we have. You gotta unlearn what you learn. And because you thinking it don't make it right, because you feeling it don't make it right. But that superiority mindset puts you in a selfish state of mind. Who am I to relinquish power to this individual, or to submit or give in to this person? That's that superior mindset. I tell people this all the time. I said, you believe in the scriptures and what it says? Yes. It says the Most High is the same forever. He doesn't change. Right. The Bible says the Most High don't change. Oh, he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Right. So if he chose the younger then, why would he not do it now? Why would he not do it now? So now all of a sudden he changed? No, the problem is it's us. It's that superiority mind frame that we develop. That's that self-serving bias. It's when you lie to yourself. Someone who has self-serving bias, you will clearly see it in them. You can see it in the people they associate themselves with. They don't want backbone. They don't like to be challenged. And this is what these brothers had. They had an ego, meaning easing God off. This is the problem with self-limited knowledge. You can't think beyond what you know. You go to a circus and you see this big elephant that can move cars, but there's a piece of string wrapped around his leg to a pole. The reason why the elephant don't move because his whole life he was trained that when he felt something around his leg that was a big chain, he couldn't move. So once I conditioned you and put that into the mind of this elephant, I can put a string on him and he will not move. And that's the problem with us. You have to unlearn what you learn. And the problem with most of us is, let's just be honest, we're not willing to do that. The next part is historical. Is later on, Jacob sent Joseph out there to go check on the brothers. They saw Joseph coming and they said, you know what, let's kill him. Reuben stepped up and said, no, let's just throw him in the pit. See, if we throw him in the pit, the Reuben thing was if I throw him in the pit, I'll stop them from killing him, and then later on I'll take him out the pit and take him back home. And this is the type of people that we have today. People who are afraid to take a stand because other people may feel a certain way. I tell people, determine what is right instead of who is right. Most people in this world don't have a backbone. And I tell people constantly, don't seek permission to be yourself. You don't need no one approval or affirmation to be yourself. Reuben knew they wanted to kill him. So he did something that was quote unquote half righteous. He took him and said, listen, brothers, let's not kill him. Let's just put him right here. And he did that with the intention of taking him out later when they wasn't around and take him to his father's house. You see, the time to do what's right is when it's presented. And this is the problem with people. Determine what is right instead of who is right. Believe your eyes and not someone else's truth. Be the voice and not the echo. Because most people would rather be the echo. No, I'd rather be the voice. If I like something, I like it. I don't care if someone look at me strange or funny or not. I had somebody tell me, man, brother, you watch Saved by the Bell? Yeah, I do watch Saved by the Bell and I like it. If you don't like it, God damn it, don't watch my TV. But I'm not going to lie about what I like or who I am to please somebody else. This is a problem. I tell people, don't seek permission from other people to be who you are. Be who you are. Reuben, you had a voice. You should have said it right then and there. Brothers, we don't like him for two reasons. One, because he sees favor in our fathers and he's saying things about us that we just don't like. So I kill him. We need to change. But you see, this is a problem with people. Reuben knew it. Reuben should have said something. And this is a problem that a lot of us in this world have. We are afraid to speak up and say something because we're afraid of the consequences. Oh, this person may not want to be my friend. I don't care. And I tell people this, right? I tell people this all the time. The true measure of friendship is when you say no. If a person can't accept my no, like they accept my yes, then you would use it. That means we can't be friends. Because I can't be a bobblehead to you. A bobblehead is meant to say yes all day long. I can't be that. There's going to be times when I can't help you. Or I'm just tired, or I don't have the money. I'm not your genie in a bottle. But this is what people will want from you. You can't be the Reuben. You got to speak up when it's time to speak up and deal with the consequences later. So what? You don't want to speak to me? I like my own company. That's why I talk to myself all day. What makes your company and your talk more important than mine? Oh, see, this is when you got an inferior mindset. Lions don't like warthogs and gazelles or zebras. No, but they want them around because that's their meal ticket. And people who are superior, with that superior mindset, they only want weak people around because that's how they be superior. This is how they can be superior if my friends are weak. Because if they match up with someone like me, they don't want me as a friend. Because if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. And I tell this to people. People like that are users. And I say this all the time. Stop crossing rivers for people who won't jump over a pond for you. Stop making a person a priority when all you are to them is an option. People with that superior, selfish mindset, they are nothing but users. And the second you challenge them, go against the norm, they want to come at you. They don't want you as a friend. Now they telling your secrets. Now they all the things you once told them, now they revealing all your dirty laundry because they abuse you. And I say this again, if they can't accept your no the same way they accept your yes, they're not your friend. They're not your friend. You see, but the problem we have, and I tell people, be the voice and not the echo. And the problem that Ruben had is a big problem that people have today. And it's called the grouping. It's the group mentality, where you develop something called conformity. I rather conform to the norm. And you don't want to speak out against something because you don't want to be the one that's known as a rebel rouser or annoying. So you just go along just to get along. But I tell this to people, you can either fit in or you can fit out. See, the insecure person would rather fit in. But a person who is their own man, who's independent thinker, he'd rather fit out. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. So that's my message to you today. You can either fit in or you can fit out. Which one would it be? Now the problem there, later on in the Torah, I'm about to wrap this up. Later on in the Torah, it says they threw Joseph in a pit, and the pit was empty. If you read the book of Yashar, it says that inside that pit, it was a well. The well, there was no water in the well. It was empty. But in the book of Yashar, it says it was empty, but there was also scorpions, and there was snakes in there, serpents in there, which will only make sense. Even scientists did some kind of experiment on it. That even if you took a well that dried up, it will develop and snakes will start going in, scorpions, because there's no water in it. So now they found the hole. This is the problem that I have, right? The pit was empty. And take the pit as being your mind. Take that well as being your mind. When you don't have water, the water is the word of the Most High, or it can be spirituality or positive thinking. If you don't have that in your mind, you will start to develop snakes and scorpions will come. This is where negativity comes in. And most selfish people are negative. Okay? This is what I tell the people. Who you are, what you think, feel, and do, and what you love is the sum of what you focus on. Your world is the outcome of what you pay attention to. You know, and I tell this to people, you're negative because you're constantly thinking on the negative. Positive people constantly think on the positive. So if you're not filling your mind up with that spiritual water, you're going to attract other things in you. They tell you the idle mind is the devil workshop. When you lose focus, your mind tends to think on what could be wrong with your life or the life of others instead of what is right. You have people who sit around, I'm telling you, they begin to look at their life as in what's wrong instead of looking at what's right. And this is what happens when they tell you the idle mind is a devil workshop. So you gotta be smart. You gotta start filling your brain, that spiritual well, with water. If not, you will develop negative thoughts. And this is the problem with people who are selfish and people who got that superiority mindset. They call it the illusory superiority effect. Okay? They only think on themselves. They only look at themselves in a positive light. They don't see the wrong. They don't see the wrong. All of that is part of that mindset. But to end it, I want to show you before I go. It says, Jacob told him, this is what they did after they sold Joseph. They killed an animal and put it on Joseph's clothes. And came back to Jacob, their father, and said, look what we found. And Jacob said, oh man, it's my fault. I sent Joseph out there to go find y'all, and a wild beast killed him. And they let their father cry. They let their father feel pain and burden him with that hurt all day long. They didn't even say nothing to him. They didn't even tell him, we was wrong. This is that selfish mindset. You will watch someone get hurt and in pain and suffer, and you won't even say nothing, just as long as it's not you, just to cover your tracks. This is what people do when they got that mindset. Before I end, Joseph This is very important. Joseph was in Egypt, and he was in prison. He saw the bacon in the bucket, and he said, why do y'all look so distressed? What's wrong with them? They're in prison now. Joseph is in prison. And he asked them, why did they look so distressed? Would it not be obvious? They're in prison. Would they not be stressed out? But think about it. Joseph had his own problems. But he took the time out to ask somebody about theirs. Think about Joseph's problems for a second. Ready for this? Joseph's mother died when he was young. He was taken away from his younger brother that he loved and his father. His brothers hated him and sold him as a slave. He was in Egypt and he was falsely accused in libel court and went to prison for being a rapist, and he was falsely accused of it. He was falsely accused and did 12 years in prison for being a rapist that he did not even do. He had his own problem. He had his own issue. But he took the time out to ask somebody, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? This is the part of why I say he wasn't selfish. He didn't only think on himself, he thought of someone else. See, this is where you gotta be selfless. See, being selfless doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. He thought about someone else. You see, and this is the problem with that superior mindset. You want everybody to do for you. And the things people do for you, you ain't willing to do for them. When Joseph asked these guys, what was wrong with you? Are you okay? And this is the problem today with people. You can read this book. I don't care what form of Israelite you is. You read from Genesis to Revelation. How many of them people were thrown in prison? You read that book. Most of the people you read of the book was thrown in prison. But today and age, people look down on prison. How you got a family member? How can you tell me you got a family member, a friend, or someone you love in prison and you don't know where? Joseph cared about somebody we didn't even know. How you gonna write somebody you know in prison? Send them money. This is my point. Don't tell me you poor. Poor people don't go to clubs and buy drinks. Poor people don't flash money on Facebook and throw it up in the air. Poor people don't take trips to Africa, the Dominican Republic, and all over the world. They don't buy $300 outfits. They go shop at the Salvation Army if you poor. Poor people go to thrift stores. I've never met so many poor people in my life that spend so much money. That's not poor. That just means that you just poor at managing your money, but you're not poor. This is a point. You read that book, and Yeshua told people, he said, when I was in prison, you didn't come see me. They said, when was you in prison and we didn't come see you? He said, if you did it to your brother, then you did it to me. My thing is, if you read the book of Isaiah 58, it tells you to satisfy the afflicted soul, those that was in prison. So I don't care who you are, how you got someone in prison, if you don't go even see them. See, you don't tell me someone is far. You see, you don't mind traveling far as long as you have this talk. That's sad. The same people who will visit you in prison is the same one who will visit your gravesite. They'll wear the t-shirts when you think that's something. A person can die and they'll go see them in a casket instead of seeing them in a jail cell. That is sad. These are people who people think Bibles in their Torahs week after week and go pray to a God, and you won't even go look out for your brother in prison. You won't even give money to the poor. Oh, you're going to use it for drugs. This is that selfish mentality. And you pray to God every day, asking God for forgiveness, and you don't even go visit someone who you know that's locked up, possible. That's bad. But look at Joseph. Because Joseph was concerned about them, that ended up helping him save not only the Egyptians, but the Israelites later on. Just because he said, why not look so distressed? And he took the time out to hear their problems and help them with their problems. Shalom.